Hi guys, Jeroen here. Today I want to talk to you about failing faster. How failure shapes the path to success. Now, first I want to start out with one idea. That no idea is made fully formed. Meaning that whatever you come up with, you will always need to test it. You'll need to fill in the details. No idea is perfect right away. So failure is almost an inevitable part of creating a great idea, of creating a great product, a great service, a great company. What you need to do is you need to test your ideas. You need to try them. You need to try them yourself. You need to share them with other people. Um, and you need to find ways to do that. This can be your family, your friends, co-workers, investors, but also potential clients. This way you're going to learn the most about whether your product or service actually has a market, whether there's actually some potential in it, and where the mistakes are in your product. No idea is good. No idea is born perfect. Good ideas are most often bad ideas combined with lots of iterations, meaning that whatever idea you come up with, it is never going to be the final idea. You're going to have to take that idea and test it, hold its feet to the fire and see if it works, see if people like it, see if it's actually beneficial to somebody. And you're going to need to iterate based on the feedback you get. You're going to need to put it out there to let it fail so that you can learn from it. And that's why we need to take more action. We need to learn to more quickly say, no, we're done with the meetings and with debating of the idea. We're going to take our crazy idea and we're going to see if it works. Because there is something called the scope problem. When you spend too much time on working on an idea and fully thinking about all the details and filling everything in, you're going to have a massive idea. And now when you're going to go and iterate on it, you're going to have to iterate on so much and get so much feedback, which can be completely unfocused and will only cost you more time to learn new things. So when you keep your idea small and you just take that initial idea and you get it in front of people as quickly as possible, you have a lot less assumptions that you make yourself to correct. You see directly how it would work with potential customers or whether people like it. Fail cheaply and fast. Now this one is very important because when you're going to fail, you want to fail before your product or your service or your company actually gets out there, before it hits the market. So you're going to have to design the processes in your company or business so that you can fail cheaply and fast. Meaning that it's not going to cost a lot of money, it's not going to cost a lot of time, it's not going to cost you a lot of resources. So a great example that we have in the video games industry, for example, is whenever we had an idea for a game, we would say, let's test it out on paper first. That would take a day or two with a couple of people before we're actually going to make it on the computer. Because on the computer it would take weeks to even get a prototype, and that's very expensive. But testing it out on paper, we could already see whether it was fun, whether people liked it, where some major mistakes were, or pitfalls. So find ways to fail cheaply and fast. Another thing is that the later you fail, the more expensive your failure. And this is a big one, because when you take your product or you take your idea and you think it out completely and you fill in all the details, and then you say, well, it's done, now I'm going to go to marketing, I'm going to go to distribution, I'm going to get it all finalized and put it out there. And that's the first time it has the possibility to fail, to actually get some solid feedback, to see if it will work. You can spend a lot of time and a lot of money on actually a failed product, just because you didn't want it to fail when it was cheap. Now this can be because, well, even if you fail early, it might still cost a bit of money, or you just thought your idea was great. But the later you fail, the more expensive your failure. So get to prototyping as fast as humanly possible. Take what you learned from your failure and apply it in your next prototype. And don't worry about the details. They will reveal themselves throughout the process. So very often we want to answer a bunch of questions, even though we kind of know we shouldn't, before we put our ideas out there for other people to see. But be, a lot of these details, a lot of these little questions that you might have, they will get answered by doing that, by doing the process of putting it out there for people. So don't worry about the details. And then finally, ego is the enemy, meaning that you need to be able to detach yourself from the product you're making. You are not your product. And this is very difficult, especially when it's just you and it's something you're really, really dedicated to. It's something you're really invested in. You need to be able to accept failure and to be able to tell yourself, well, that is not me. I'm going to be able to improve this, and this does not have to reflect on who I am. So here's a nice little quote by Michael Jordan. He's the famous basketball player. I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. That's really something to think about for all of you. And that's it, folks. Go out there and make some mistakes. Thank you for listening.